Click on that.
Yeah.
Welcome to Ladies Night. I'm your host, Sandy, Lady Roadrunner, Swell to Investment. Good evening, good afternoon, evening, afternoon. Sorry, getting all of my days mixed up right here. How are you guys doing today? It's Sandy, and tonight we're having ladies' night. So I didn't, I didn't know how to pick. I didn't know what topic to do today, so I just thought I'd go ahead and just, you know, um, talk about some things, talk about different things to go ahead and, what's going on with the world today and just see what's going on with you guys and talk a little bit with you guys. Hi, everybody. Hi. Uh, so, so I know my husband is really excited that I'm doing this. We were talking about doing this for a while now. And, and Indiana mom, when we had did our last live, when I did my last live with him, she was like, "Hey, let's have a girls' night with Sandy." So I was like, oh, "Okay." And yeah, so my husband's excited about that. So, so today, I thought I'd go ahead and just talk to you guys because I know I've been seeing you guys from a distance, and come in every now and then to go ahead and talk to you and discuss some topics, that my husband goes ahead and put out, Roadrunner. And so I thought this would be like a good time to go ahead and talk with you guys, um, discuss some things that are going on with us as Black women today and what we're facing today and things we're going through. So I just want to go ahead and just be here to uplift. Hi, everybody. How you guys? To go ahead and uplift and talk to you guys and see if you guys have any questions or, a topic you guys want to go ahead and talk about today. Um, you know, um, I know we have been through, things, especially on the media and with one of my topics I was thinking about talking was like the essence, um, what happened at the essence in New Orleans, down there too. So I wanted to speak a little bit on that, see what you guys were thinking about that as far as news, because I always wanted to go there and see how the essence, when they do this event every year down to New Orleans. So that's been on my bucket list. But as far as everything that's been going on, it's really hard to, see what, uh, you know, us, with us, especially with us as Black women. So, I just want to come up here, uplift, and talk to you guys and see if you have any questions or, what you'd like to talk about. Because, I'm all for uplifting, you know, getting us back on that train. We've been kind of down and out with things on the news and people that you've been here with social media. So, I just want to have uplifting, um, like what kind of movies have you guys watched, that you guys want to go ahead and talk about. I have recently watched a movie called I forgot the movie I was looking at, but it'll come to mind here. But a couple of movies I was talking about. Oh, I'm Somebody's Child, and is with Miss Regina. So I was looking at that, and so but yeah, I mean, I'm just here, and thanks everybody. Wow, you guys are coming in, so thanks for the support. Let's see here. Now I'm new at this, so bear with me. Um, on trying to get the chat down and people come up. So bear with me in just a moment while I go ahead and get this. So let's see here. Let me see if I go ahead and drop the chat or the link. I'm sorry, my husband says the link. Okay, he's gonna train me for this. So he's gonna train me for this. So, but all right. So, hey, hi, Preston. Hello, you guys. Oh, thanks for all the. All right. I'm reading some of the comments as they come on in. So if you guys want to come on up and then we can have a discussion or talk, I'm all for it. If you want to know a little bit about me and talk, uh, pretty much who I am. You know who my husband is, Mr. Roadrunner. Um, you know, and we've been married for the longest time. We're hitting that mark and keep hitting that mark, and so pretty much, uh, I'm just right now. We just have one child that we watch out for, and then she's going to college, and so excited to see you guys too as well. And and pretty much, we just have her living here at home. Um, as far as that, I work from home now since COVID, so I do my job here at home, and I'm in the job that I wish that I love, and I've been working at it for a couple of years now. So hopefully, this is my last job, and I'm going to retire, so I can retire here real soon, and enjoy and do some traveling, and enjoy the life that we work so hard for. So, hi everybody, you guys are beautiful. Thank you so much for coming on live. And so, but today, we thought we'll go ahead and try this, and I'm new at this, so. But one thing I want to go ahead and just kind of conversate about, or see if you guys had watched any good movies lately to that are out there, pretty much to like uh that's showing up right now, or pretty much we could go ahead and um if you guys have any questions for me, we could go ahead and start on the topic if you guys like to talk about, and go from there. So the link has been dropped, so if you want to go ahead and hit that link and come aboard, and we can go ahead and have a conversation of what do you guys would like to go ahead and talk about. So let's see here. All right. One moment. All right. So I have Miss Prism. So she has a question. So how should women present themselves to men? Well, I think with women that presents themselves to men, pretty much, in yourself, be strong in yourself, be confident, um, you know, uh, know what you want, then that you have, that you want in a man, and present yourself strongly, go out there and, dress nice, dress accordingly, and, pretty much just go ahead and present yourself, introduce yourself, let them know who you are, ask some questions and let them know a little bit about you. And so it's all about being there and being confident. When men see that you're, confident, nice and soft and, stuff like that, then, pretty much that's you go ahead and present yourself as, present yourself to men as that way. So they will, talk to you, be open, get to know them, and so they could get to know you a little bit better too as well. So and pretty much present, that's how you would go ahead and present yourself, so they know that you're uh that you're seen, you're there, and you're confident. So, and as I sit right here, we have one that says, dress how you want to address is what I heard. Yep, and that's very much true. um Put on that favorite outfit that you like and that you're most confident in. And then once you go ahead and you do that, that will go ahead and just boost your spirits and just present yourself as well. So, that's pretty much how, you go ahead and present yourself, to men. So let's see here. All right, one moment. Let's see here. And bear with me one moment. I'm learning new things how to go ahead and navigate. So so bear with me. Okay, gotcha. All right. Okay. All right. And so let's see here. And so I have another question here. Let's see. All right. All right. I want to ask you about Duchess Meghan Markle's. What do we tell racial daughters as mothers of daughters? All right. So let's see here. I want to ask you about Duchess Meghan Markle. What do we tell our biracial daughters about this? As mothers of daughters like Meghan, what would you be your advice to women like Meghan? Well, everything that's pretty going with this going on with Meghan, I would pretty much would, as far as you telling like for uh biracial daughters, are you saying like how they should present themselves or how they should act as mothers daughters of like Megan? Well, my advice would be to pretty much just like be yourself. You know don't over. Oh, that's a kind of like a good question. So that's it. But for as for like biracial daughters, I mean it's be yourself. I mean, you know treat each individual. I feel sometimes with Megan, I know there's a lot going on, and she's, says she has to present herself and this and that fashion, but there's a way you could go ahead and present yourself. Just be you, just be the person that you want, to be, and also too as well, just um, be that strong Black woman that you present. And just be the family. I mean, don't show any difference, just be that way. So I haven't really paid a little attention to Meghan Markle. I haven't, really kind of paid attention to her because everything with all that stuff going on, I just is like kind of like let it go because a lot of times, I know that when you're in that presented eye, there's a lot of things that you can go ahead and do differently. For us as Black women, you can present yourself a little bit more, even though, yeah, you have this knocking at your door, but you can still present yourself as a lady, still present yourself, well in that fashion. So, pretty much that's what I kind of would have the advice, on that end as far as that. So, bear with me one moment. Let's get Miss Prism. Hello, how you doing, Miss Prism?
Hey, Miss Sandy. So I can be my soft self over here. So
Here you go.
I don't have to be rough and tumble over here. I'm gonna read those questions for you, and that way
Okay.
you can answer it. So I can kind of because if and also, ladies, if you want to come up and ask the questions,
Yes.
this would be a great place to do it. If you have any questions, like Mr. Roadrunner said, please put them all in caps so that I will see them. And I'm going to go ahead and start with Miss Cece. Miss Sandy, have you always considered dating outside your race when Brent came along?
Yes, I have. I mean, I've always have considered that. And I had talked with my mother about that too as well, and also with my father before he has passed. When my father passed and he knew he probably wasn't going to see me get married or anything, he told me, he goes, just um, find somebody that's going to treat you right, be there for you, take care of you, and is going to love you for you. And so that stuck with me because I know he wasn't going to be around. And So, and then when it's just me and my mom would talk, and I was like, well, how would you feel? But she's like, it's your life. Whoever treats you right, whoever's going to be with you, you be with it. It doesn't matter who it is. And I'm like, okay. And so ever since then, I just said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up my options and pretty much go from there. And that's what I did. And here I am 29 years later. So yeah.
Excellent answer. I have a question from the lovely, is it Miss Muvajira? It says, what do you say to Black women who refuse to see the valiance and strength of a white man, and how your marriage has flourished because of those qualities?
I would say communication, as like first, as far as our what we've been through and what we've been through together. Is that what we're talking about?
Is that what you're talking about, Kujira? Is that what you're is that the type of answer that you're looking for? Could you elaborate a little bit more for us, please?
Let's see here. Let me see.
And while she's doing that, Miss Sandy, what would be your opinion between dressing sophisticated and dressing sexy to um, draw attention to the type of guy that you are interested in?
I would say dress sophisticated. I would say dress sophisticated but classy. Um, you have that type where when you want to go ahead and present yourself, you want to present yourself as you want to be presented. I mean, there's if you want to go ahead and meet somebody, I feel that you want to be sophisticated and classy. That's where you should go ahead and dress, because that just gives you your confidence up, and you're feeling good, and you're in that state. you know um when you want to go ahead and dress anybody, like you want to dress sexy or with everything, there's a time and place for that, where how you want it. But I always present as far as that goes, be classy and sophisticated. That's what I pretty much go with on that.
Okay, so I'm thinking that, and she can affirm, I think Miss Muba Kajira, I think
Mhm.
she was saying that, I believe what she's talking about is that women who refuse to date out, um, how do you say to those women who refuse to date out to see the valiance and the strength of white men? And how has some of those, I guess what she was saying, how was some of those qualities of being able to see those valiance and the strength of white men, has it caused your marriage to flourish because of those qualities?
um
Am I
it's
right? Go ahead, Miss Sandy.
Oh, okay. So that question, as far as, let's see, what's the strength? Well, with the qualities for our marriage, we had, communication. We had communication. We talked, and we pretty much were on the same line. I mean, we were on the same wavelength as far as what we wanted to do, how we want to do things in life, and that brought out a little bit of us in each other. Because once you click and you find out that you want the same things in life, then you bring out each other. You're there for each other, and you help build. And the more you help build each other up, it flourishes out. I mean, you just bring out everything in each other, and you're there. And this and communication is always the key. Like my husband said, when he was in the service, and that was his, he wanted to do that, and I was like, okay, I understand that, I get it, and it was up to me to either say yes or no. And then once I saw that, then I'm like, okay, this is, we're gonna go ahead and work on this, because he's like, once I go ahead and finish, then you can do whatever that you want to, as far as a career. And I said, okay, that works out. So that's how we help each other, and we went from there, and to get the quality, that quality uh, in each other.
That is a wonderful response. I just kind of want to segue back to some of the things that we were talking about with Meghan Markle. And I think El Musima said that she had watched the Harry and Meghan documentary on Netflix. She said she didn't
Mhm.
understand. She said that Meghan didn't understand racism and was shocked that someone actually called her mom the N word. How do
Mhm.
you, how have you and Mr. Brent kind of directed your children to live in a world where some people will accept them as black and some people will not accept them as black, and dealing with even with them being biracial children, how to navigate racism.
Well, as we raised our kids, we always talk to them on both sides of, yeah, that you're going to have some people that are going to go ahead and call you, call you that, or some people that are going to go ahead and call you out your name, and so it's best to go ahead and look the other way. Don't even bother giving them an answer or anything else, pretty much to go ahead and just give them that kind of recognition, exactly. Um, and we raise our kids on both ends, you know, and if I hear them calling either at the name, well, I'm going to go ahead and go in. But, we raise our kids to, learn about both, be who you are. Don't worry about that. Walk away from that, because at the end of the day, it's a hurt, but it's a hurtful word. But you know what, we always have tomorrow, and we live from that and we go on. So um we always raised our kids to be independent, and just pretty much just move on. Don't even give them the time of day for that, because I have been called all sorts of names. But you know what? I get mad, but you know what? At the end of the day, I'm still here and I'm still flourishing, and so are my kids. So it's
That's a wonderful answer. Thank you so much for that. We have another question from the lovely Sunshine Doll. She said, "How did you all navigate raising biracial children in their teens? Any special tips?" She said her and her husband have three children, two boys and one girl.
oh well, okay. Um, well, pretty much what we did, I put we I put my kids in sports. Any sport that they wanted to go ahead and join, I put them in sports. Went out there. Would you want to do soccer, basketball, You try whatever you want. And so pretty much that's what I did. I put them in sports. I was there. I made sure I was seen. I made sure my kids were seen. Um, and met with people, talked with people, introduced myself if I see a parent or somebody, somebody there. And I kind of just put myself out there, and to let them know who I was, and so they could get a feel for me, and then they know who my kids were. And as I did this with all my kids, because I wanted them to know, I'm always there. Um, and that's how I went ahead and navigated. Because I want my kids to feel comfortable. I don't want them to feel like they're in this and they're by themselves or anything else. So I did it with sports, and that helped them out a lot. And then when people got to know me, and then with the kids, then everything just came around. People talked, they saw the kids, are like, "Oh, your daughter's so sweet, she's so nice," and so that helped out a lot, I think. So that's the way I went, with my kids, to just let them get out there.
Thank you for that answer. If you have any questions, please continue to put them in the chat and we will read them. And of course, Miss Sandy, I just want to go ahead and read a few of the things that are in the chat. Miss Sandy, you are pure class. That's from the lovely Susan Day. We say hello to Miss Natasha 75. KP Murgoat. She says hello, Sandy and the ladies in the chat. The beautiful A. Lauren is here. The beautiful Kathleen Keene is here. Hey, Alexander Brannon, Southern Nappiness. Good evening, everyone, and good evening to you. Love to Run has a very important statement. She says some Black women are still attracted to the struggle. They've never had a positive role model in their lives. Miss Sandy, what do you think about that statement?
um I can understand that, with the positive role model. um and I have to say, my positive role model for me was my parents. And with that being said, is that they were, even though they didn't have a lot of money, or could do a lot of things for me, um my parents were a good role model, because that's where my mom was always first. She wanted, you know her her to be a good role model, so when she teach me things, and I would go out to this world, and I knew what to do and how to handle myself. So she was my positive role model. um if you have any, like, an aunt, or uh, a person in your family that's a good role model, you know, just just look at them, see how they flourish. If they're there to go ahead and help you and teach you and get you along your way, then by all means, do that, because we all need that little push as a positive role model, especially us as being Black women, and what we're going through and what we have to go through. Um, we always need something that kind of gets us to push to keep going, to keep us going. And that makes you into a good positive role model, because the things that you don't want, that you've seen in your life, and you're like, I don't want to do that, then you go this way, and you see, and you put your positive, then you're going to be a positive role model. So my mom and dad, especially my mom, she was a gospel woman. She was a Bible woman, and she was, so she was my positive role model. She's like, everything you do, you pray about it and you keep it moving, because that's what's going to get you through hard times, and that's going to go ahead and get you flourished. So we're going to have good and bad days, but you keep praying and you keep it moving, and and your gifts will come in hand. So yep. So that's where my mom, that was my positive role models, my mom and dad.
Thank you for that answer. I have a kind of like a pushback on something, not so much with you, but because in this space, it's kind of like it's almost like it's an assumption that you have to hate Black men in order
Hmm.
to date race outside your race. But
Hmm.
because so many African American women have had so many toxic experience with Black men,
Hmm.
um, and we don't want women to be thinking, okay, you don't really have to have a reason to date outside of your race. You are welcome to date outside your race just because you don't prefer that man.
Right.
Um, is it okay for women to say, hey, it's not that that I hate Black men, it's just that I just don't prefer them? Is it okay for women to say that?
Of course. Yeah. Of course it is. You go with who you prefer, because that's your life. That's who you want to be happy, who you want to go ahead and be with. Um so you be with that person that's going to make you happy, and that's going to be your preference. So your preference is your preference. That's it. You know um when I married my husband, I didn't, wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm done. I'm gonna marry a white man. No, my thing was, I want somebody in my life to come in here and treat me the way I want to be treated. I want somebody that's on my level, because I'm ready to make that. I'm ready to make that step. And so this is who I had in front of my door, and then this is who I went with, and it's been great ever since. So yeah, do your preference, do you, but also put yourself first. Explore your options, put yourself first, what you want, because this is your life.
Thank you so much for that. We have a question from the lovely One Race, the Human Race. Miss Sandy, how do you deal with mostly negative comments people make about biracial children, mostly coming from white women and others?
Yeah. Well, that's why, going back to the question that I had about biracial children, and I say I put them in sports. Um, that's where, when I did that, and then once because I know I'm going to hear some pushback from, especially with the comments from white women and others. So that's why I did what I did, because pretty much where I am, and we were pretty much in the service, we were going to deal with a lot of people with diversity, especially somebody always has to say something, and or put something out there. And so uh So pretty much what I just put myself out there. If they had anything to say, I was here to go ahead and answer their questions, that if they had any questions whatsoever. um I did have some questions of, like, how you do their hair, and this and that, and and stuff like that. And that was easy to answer. I was easy to go ahead and let them know and answer their questions. By all means, that's pretty much how I put it. Any comments that were said to me, then I just go ahead and make myself be known, and then I left it at that and went on about my business after that. So because I'm not going to let people go ahead and dictate or say anything to me, or what comments. If I'm with my children, there's comments that being said. I'm gonna put myself classy and leave it at that, and then move and just keep it moving. Because pretty much right now, this is my world right here. Whatever anybody has to say, go comments or anything else, I don't have to worry about it, because I don't have to see them every day.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much for that. We're going to just say hi to a few more people. Miss Cole Fifi Magma says, yay, Miss Sandy. In Watson, good evening, Miss Sandy. The beautiful Kathleen King is talking about it's cool to put your kids in sports and it's best to get out there. We have a lot of affirmative. Hey, everybody, give Miss Roadrunner a like. Southern Nappiness says Sandy has a very nice voice. JG Music 3000 in the house. Hey, yay. Brett's lovely wife is on with my favorite prism. Thank you so much. We have the beautiful DJT. And her question is, do you have a preference for which race your children date or marry?
No, no, I don't. Because I don't, because I feel that's my kids' decision. Um, if I'm more to go ahead and stand in that decision, or do anything or say anything, I mean, I'm going to protect my kids. If something's wrong and I don't like it, I am going to say something. I'm going to do that. But as far as whoever that they pick, or whoever that they want to be with, that's going to be on them. Because I find out from not just me, but from other, people that, you know, um, step into that field with their kids. Um, they push more to them than what I want. Does that kind of make sense? Like, I mean, I want the best for you. I want this, and if I don't see some of that qualities, but then I go ahead and step in and say that, and then, then I have I have a backlash. So I just go ahead and just let them go ahead and be who they want to be with. Let them figure it out. If they have any questions for me, I'm good to open conversation, because I like open conversation with my kids, and I have that with them now. Um, they'll come and ask me questions, mom, this and that. That's what I want, because I want that open, and then I know where they're leading to, and then I could go ahead and put my 2 cents, 3 cents, and $1 in. So that's how I go ahead and do it from there.
Thank you so much for that answer. I like that dollars and cents. Um, we have a question from the lovely Species Unknown. Hi, Miss Sandy. Do you and Brent have other interracial couples that you hang out with, like go to dinner, dates, or couples activities?
You know, um, we what we do, it's the opposite. He's black, she's white, or he's black and Hispanic. So, or we go ahead and hang out with white couples too as well. So pretty much, um that's pretty much who we go ahead and hang around with, because a lot of our friends are that in pretty much in that field. So we don't hang around a lot of couples like us, because we don't um hardly know any couples here like us. I mean, when we were in the service, yeah, we did. I mean, we went out. We always went to the military ball with them and stuff like that. But now that we're out of that loop, we just pretty much we just hang around with some of the people we work with, or and stuff like that. So pretty much that's what we pretty much hang around with.
Thank you so much. Species Unknown also wants to know, how do you feel seeing all the interracial couples on TikTok and YouTube raising their families now? Did you ever think it would be so publicized in 2023?
No, I did not. In 1994 it was like a hard um hard sell. because when me and my husband popped up and everybody saw us, it was a staring moment. But right now in 2023, I love seeing it. I think it's great. I'm like, wow, look, I'm like, look how far we come now. I mean, and seeing people explore their options, especially Black women, because when back in the day, we were supposed to be, we were race loyal. We waited for that Black man, we waited for this, but now we have options that we can go ahead and do, and we could go ahead and have the preference or do whatever that you want to go ahead and do to make yourself happy. You are the number one priority. Nobody else is. So don't let anybody tell you nothing different. You are the number one. It's you. So whatever that makes you happy, you go for it. And I love seeing those couples. I really do, and their kids. It's beautiful.
I do as well. The beautiful Lisa Adams says, I attend a multicultural church and my children grew up there. Did
Mhm.
you and Mr. Brent attend a multicultural church or other organizations? Did this help your marriage and your children?
Yeah, we grew up in a church. Well, mine's was pretty much where I grew up. My church was pretty much predominantly Black. Brent's church was he had where he grew up was they had uh Blacks in there as well. So they were multicolored church too as well. So uh so when we got married, pretty much I went to go ahead and went to his church, and it was multicultural, and it was great. Everybody got along, nobody judged. I think I think more in my husband's church was everybody was happy to see us. And I think with us, me being Black and him being white, they really enjoyed it because every time they come up, they would always talk to me. They always talk to us. How you doing? How are your kids? The kids were there, and the kids were really functional in church. They did daycare. They did all sorts of stuff. So I mean, it was it's comfortable because when you go there, you can relax, you can hear the word of God, and pretty much, and just that your family is gets a good word. So yeah, so we didn't have pretty much any problem. Think of this, like I said, a lot of people are happy to see us because of our you know our differences, and that we can be in that church and all of us can get along, and meet and talk to and talk to you and ask questions. So yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't too bad at all.
Thank you so much for that answer. Welcome again to more people coming into the chat. We're going to give some other shout outs to the beautiful Beverly Johnson, who says, good evening, Sandy and everyone. Sandy, you are so sweet and caring. Be blessed. We have Gina. Sandy is being nice, but I'm telling you right now, I do not want my daughter to come home with the dusty. Um,
Yeah, I know. We mothers, we know we can, yeah. Yeah. We know when to pull it back and push it forward.
Um, Shay said, Lady Roadrunner, you are beautiful. Thank you for your excellent commentary. Black women need to understand that we are proud wives and mothers. And Watson said, no, no dusties allowed. They are hilarious. Thank you so much for all of the different comments. Hey, Casey. Um, in Watson says, I follow several Black women content creators in interracial marriages. I've loved seeing them being happy and loved. I do as well. It makes me happy to see women who are absolutely Black women to be celebrated and encouraged to embrace their full beauty, no matter what their shade of skin is. And I am here for it. So, Miss Sandy, what would you say is what would you say would be a really great place for women who are single to meet men who are their preference?
Hmm. Well, I would say I know everybody was like, "Oh, the grocery store." I know where everybody got that from, but some people won't say that. Um, I would pretty much say, go to different places. Like if you go out of town or go on a trip, um events that come into town that are there, like a wine festival or anything that they have planned that you never been to, like if like there's some events that are coming around, like chocolate chocolate covered bacon or bacon festival. Never been to it. You know, go out there and try those places and like events, and that way you see what's all around you. You see everybody. You know, you kind of have a widespread of a lot of places that that people that you can look and see and out there, and just kind of get to get yourself out there. So I would say try events, um, gatherings, down there that you're familiar with and that you're comfortable with. That's what I would say. And try something different that you've never been. Try something like that. Get a girlfriend or somebody that you trust and just go out there and try something someplace different. And that's what I would say. Just do. Just do like different events.
Thank you so much for that answer. Um, we want to say hello to the beautiful Creating One C 1999. Casey says, what about meeting men at cafes in nice neighborhoods?
Oh yeah, that's a good starting place. To do that as long as you are familiar with the area. Um, please be familiar with the area that you're at. I mean, if that's a place that that you are comfortable with, by all means do. I that's always tell the ladies, if you're going to do anything, just be in a comfortable space where you're at, and that that you like and you're good. And so and that would that'll be fine. I mean, just get in the area where you're comfortable.
Thank you. N. Watson said, I think singles groups at church work, sporting events, concerts, upscale events and venues, an outdoor concert. I think so, absolutely. Another way to meet the kind of men that you want to attract. Also, I think golfing,
Hmm.
definitely going overseas, the type of men that I like. I have already met overseas. And I've met them through business and the things that are interesting to me, art museums,
Hmm.
um, and different, believe it or not, sipping paints. You
Yep.
meet a lot of interesting gentlemen,
Hmm.
and so definitely put your beautiful self out there. The
Gym, the
radiant
airport. Yeah.
the radiant smiler says, Miss Sandy, do you believe that you attracted your husband because of you were self-confident, knew what you wanted in a relationship, and were unwilling to settle for less?
um. Well, when I attracted my husband at the time, um, all bets were off at that time. I was uh I was in a relationship at this time, and then my father had passed. And the relationship I was in before was not yeah, I had to pretty much just get out of that altogether. And then my father, at that time I met my husband, my father had passed. And so I was not really looking for anybody right at that moment in time, because I had a lot of stuff going on at that time with my family, and my father's family and stuff. So when I met him, I was not prepared to meet him, so he stuck up on me. And so once I um once I got everything settled with my family, then it was on me. My mom's like, you know what, we're good. Everything is good, because I had to make sure my mom was good with finances and stuff. It was just a lot going on, so I couldn't think about anything but get her comfortable. So once I did that, then I remember him because he reached out to me, and then by then I we knew the same friends. Never been to we've been to events, knew the same friends, hang out with the same people, but we never saw each other. So once I got things settled, he gave me his at night. He gave me his number. I called him, and then we went on from there. And he was the person that I wanted to be with. He had all the things that I wanted, and I was like, wow. But then I was questioning myself of, well, what everybody's going to think, how I'm going to do this, who, And my mom was like, who are you living for, them or you? Right, I'm living for me. So, and and ever since then, it's been a go.
And that's one of the things I was going to ask you is how do you deal with family members and friends who do not accept that you have a other race spouse or mate?
Well, a lot of my family members were shocked that I brought my husband home because they were like, "Oh, you're going to get married to this 6'4" black tall guy with muscles. You know, is he going to be a linebacker?" And yeah, and then uh, that's what some of my friends thought. Then I said, "Well, no, this is the person that I'm bringing home," and it was Brent. And they were like, "Whoa!" They were like, "Wow!" Completely out of left field. And I like surprises like that because, like my mom says, you don't always know what your left hand's going to tell your right hand, what your right hand's going to tell your left. You're just going to go in there and you're just going to walk in there and you're just going to do it. And I brought him in, and everybody was in shock. So, but needless to say, they welcomed him. They teased him about me, of course, but they welcomed him with open arms. They talked to him, they drilled him, they drilled him, scared him with pig feet and chitlins and all that stuff. And but yeah, they had a good time with them. And after that, I had a couple of people, a couple of my cousins and uncles come up at my at the time that they met him. They said, "Yeah, we like him. We just wanted to go ahead and scare." But after that, it was nothing. It was gold. I mean, they love him. That my family loves him. They love him, and they think he's just the kindest man ever. So yeah, so they love him.
Yes, we can see that you both have a very beautiful relationship, and we enjoy being able to witness it and also being able to conceive that for ourselves as well. Thank you so much. We want to say hello to the beautiful Black woman, Wake Up and Behold. She said, "Yes, I love seeing Black women having a conversation instead of hating on one another." Um,
Yes.
we have a lot of beautiful comments. Black women, amen. Upscale says, the key is upscale. Um, the lovely species unknown said, "I find the most intriguing white men in bookstores, cafes, and coffee shops and pubs, beaches, and hiking." Those are
Nice.
all great places to meet someone that meets your match. Ban Up Muse says, "Hey there, if they have things like a 1 day boat tour in your local near water, and they sell sandwiches too, that's probably another great place. The gym in the airport for those women who like to work out, libraries, and intellectual spaces."
Hmm.
Um, Another comment is, "Yes, put on your favorite sundress and go to festivals, wineries, and vineyards." I agree with that.
Yes.
Networking events, art galleries, movie nights at the park. Um, so they're giving out a lot of these great recommendations. Beverly Johnson said, "Miss Sandy is a go-getter and don't back down to no one." Cynthia Shields said, "Even at yoga classes." I would agree with that. Um, so Miss Sandy, how I'm trying to think of how to say this to pose this question. Um, I think a lot of Black women, because of the community that we come up in, that
Hmm.
we really don't get the opportunity to embrace our beauty the way
Hmm.
that we um, the way that we desire. And a lot of Black women are afraid to put themselves out there to meet men of other races. Um, because they are intimidated because they've heard so many things about their skin color, or nobody's going to want you, or this, that, and the other. So, and I know we've all heard it, especially in the toxicity of this space. So how would you encourage the women here today, who aren't married, who are beautiful Black women in their own rights, to step into that beauty and show it to everyone that they meet?
I could understand that. Um, you have to find it within yourself. Oh, and thank you for the super sticker there, radiant smile. Thank you for that. Um, I've been there. I have been where I have been called, you're dark, you're too dark, you're too big. Because when I was a kid, when I was tall, when I was in school, I was tall. I was really tall, and stuff. So I understood that, and it hurt me, and but I found a way to go ahead and said, you know what? I'm going to go out there no matter what, because if I don't find it within myself, then nobody else is going to find it for me. So I'm going to do this. And if they don't like it, well, then tough. Then they're not the person for me. If they're not going to be around, be in my space, no, don't be in my space. If you can't love me for me and accept you for me, then I don't need that negative energy. I want positive. Um, I want positive people around me that uplift, and you're right. And with the community and us, tearing each other down too, um, I hate to see that because I was that girl on the fence. I was that at one time or another. And it hurt me just for it to come from another Black female, you know. But I surrounded myself with people that I enjoy. I, went into sports. That's how, like I said, and that's why I think with my kids, I did that. I put myself into something that I wanted to do. I said, I'm just going to try it. If I don't like it, I can always go ahead and do something else. So I put myself in, sports or clubs or anything like that around that people like to do what I like to do. And that's where I went from there. And ever since then, I have not looked back. And them people till this day are like, wow, I haven't seen you for a while. What you been up to? Are you doing this and this? Oh, well, I just never thought. Well, that's right, because you're not in my space. So please get out there, you know, explore. Do not listen to you put yourself out there. It's in yourself. Don't just, you just keep going, keep pushing. And then where you want to be at is where you're gonna find yourself. You're gonna end up because you did that. So don't put yourself in that situation. Positivity all the time.
I agree. There's a lot of people laughing about the chitterlings and the pig feet. They're
Yeah.
wondering, did he eat any of them?
No, he didn't. My mom was like, she made some, and then we had food, and she had made some. She put it in a pot back there, and when he came to eat with us, she's like, "What is that?" And I said, "That's pig feet." He's like, "Oh my goodness, are you gonna?" He says, I was like, "No," and my mom's like, "No, Brent, I'm not gonna let." She goes, "No, I was just messing with you. You don't have to eat it, honey. You're good." So yeah, it was a good. Yeah, he was okay after that.
That's hilarious. And we want to say hey to the lovely Harvest Moonbeam, Mary Queen of Scots, heavy is the crown. Yes, it is. Wisdom speaks. And let's see if we have any. We have a comment, which I think is really important. It says that self love prevents struggle and dust. It raises your standards in self respect and treatment. Sunshine Doll said, "Prism, you are amazing for guiding this. This is all flying at the. Usually, I'm not ready for that."
Let me tell you something about Prison. Prison, she's good. She's amazing. She came in and she got, because I told her, I was like, "I'm gonna do this," and she's like, "I'm right there." So I appreciate her flying me through this because she's my backup. I appreciate it. She got my back.
Thank you so much. We have I know you already acknowledged her. I want to acknowledge her again. Thank you, Radiant Smiler, for that beautiful $3 super sticker. Um, let's see. Genuinely, what straight man does yoga? Actually, a whole lot of them.
Yeah,
A lot of guys do it actually, for a lot of different reasons, believe it or not.
yeah,
Um, so I mean,
like stress,
absolutely.
relax, and too, they're probably out there trying to meet somebody else too as well. So
Yep,
I mean, you
they
never
do.
know.
They do, and they have a growing tendency of men who are in their late 50s and 60s. Kind of funny because I'm not that age, but I saw a few of them, and they've been in government and different things, and there's some hot dudes out there. Let me tell you. So Sunshine Doll says, "Don't chase men; let them approach you." What do you think about that nowadays, Miss Sandy? If is there a difference? My dad said, "You don't have to chase men, but you can definitely drop the handkerchief for them to pick it up."
My dad used to go ahead and say the same thing. um, you know, um, he's like, yeah, it's different now. It's really different. I mean, I was taught, like you said, the same thing. I was taught for people, if they were interested in you, they would come up and say something to you, or if they were interested, maybe you heard something the next day. If you heard from a friend, hey, this person likes you, but they don't know what to say, so what do you want to do? So that's what I grew up with. They said, oh, this person likes you. We pass notes in classrooms, you know, um, mid at dances and stuff, and they would come up to you then. Um, as far as to that, I would be like, have them come up to you. I mean, you can always drop a hint, like you said, with the handkerchief, or you can drop a hint with if you're at a restaurant or something like that, with a drink or an appetizer or something like that, or something that's quirky or funny on a note or something, just kind of little tease or something like that. Yeah. But always, but I go with that. If somebody's interested in you, you come up, have them come up to you.
Thank you so much for that. Cynthia Shields says, Miss Sandy, the interracial unions and marriages are at 24% and growing for Black women. KP Murgoat says, Black women live around non Black men regularly, and when it comes to romantic partnership, it gets complicated and awkward. What do you think about that statement?
Yeah. Sometimes it does. Yeah. Sometimes it does. Um, I think when you work around them and they know, and I can understand that too, because pretty much when my jobs, I used to work around a lot of non um, Black people. I mean, usually I would be the first Black person that even worked at that job, and I'm like, wow, how am I going to go ahead and do this? But I was myself, got to meet people, introduce, um, let them know a little bit about me, and pretty much leave it like that. Don't make it so awkward where you're like, oh gosh, just go out there and just present yourself and just stand firm. That's it. And if they come up and say something to you or want to talk to you, give them answers, or little short answers, or and whatnot, and just be, and just go from there. That's it. And don't make yourself uncomfortable. Just relax, put yourself in the zone, and just go from there. Yeah, because then it's just going to be all, when you get there, it's always going to be a nervousness. It's just you're never going to calm down. You're just always going to be uptight, and you don't want that.
Thank you so much for that answer. We have the lovely Casey, and she said, how can you not give off nervous energy when going out alone?
Nervous energy without going that alone. Oh. Well, I would say do something that calms you down. You know, listen to some music, uh, something that relaxes you, so you're not so nervous, you're not so focused, that you could kind of be yourself a little bit. Um, when you go out or you start out, have a question for that person, or what's that person, people always say, have a little quirky joke or something like that, that kind of just removes that nervousness. But just do something to you that just kind of calms you down just a little bit, where you're not too, it's hard not to be nervous, because you're like, I don't want to say anything that's going to be stupid, or sideways, or or dumb. So just do something that kind of relaxes you in your way. Take a breather, and just remain calm, because it's hard enough that we're going to go ahead and go out and try to get to know person, but then after, pretty much when you go ahead and you do that, you know just relax, get a drink, relax, and go from there. You know what I mean? And just, and everything will follow. Then you'll feel okay afterwards. Have that special question that you want to ask, and try to ask it in a nice way. And then after that, if that's the question that you've been wanting to, then pretty much go from there. And the nervousness probably will be revealed.
So, what do you think about? Thank you so much for that question, that answer. What do you think about speed dating and dating apps and things of that sort nowadays? What do you think about meeting guys um, on those dating apps and on those speed date social connections? What do you think about that?
Yeah, speed dating and apps. I don't, that's hard to say, because I just never been in that space where I have, had to do that. I mean, I would just think, if you're gonna do that, then kind of investigate, I guess, a little bit more, ask questions, you know, um, just kind of ask around that have done it, or that have done it before. I know speed dating was back; they were just starting out with that. Speed dating, I don't know how you can do speed dating, because how's it going to take long to know a person before then, unless it's I don't know. So, but I would just say, if that's a type of, like, if they do speed dating and you know where it's at, I will say go to that place and see how it works. I mean, see what see how that speed dating works out. See how it's ran. But with dating apps and stuff, just be aware, you know, because we just got a lot of crazy people around here. And I would just hate for any type of female to be put in that, predicament. But just, just ask questions, see what's it up, and see what goes on. Yeah, I don't, yeah, that's where I'm at with that, with the app. Just be cautious,
Yeah.
you know.
We were having a conversation on TikTok about the dating apps. And a lot of women, were talking about their safety. And, one of the tips that I gave them for dating, if you're meeting somebody on an app, if you have a guy friend who is a very close guy friend, have him go to the restaurant 30 minutes ahead of time and sit in that restaurant. And while you never let a man pick you up from your house, you always meet that man out at that restaurant. Number two, when you leave that restaurant, you are not to go directly home. And if you are in a little further away from your home that you're meeting at this restaurant, maybe it might be wisdom for you to get a hotel room for the night and stay at that hotel to ensure your safety. Um,
Right.
Unless if that gentleman is not able, that friend is not able to stay there at that restaurant to watch that gentleman's conduct with you.
Correct.
So I thought those are really good tips. Another thing is, ladies, everything is very social media geared right now. It
Mhm.
is good to invest in a bat phone. That is my stilo.
Yes.
You never give a guy your real number. Have a bat phone that those guys have to connect with you on that phone. That's not your real phone. So
Hmm.
you keep those different tips just in case you don't like that guy. He's not taking no for an answer. He's getting that bat phone that can be trashed. A number can be changed immediately.
Great. Yeah.
So
Great. Good advice. Yeah. Very, very good advice. And always um, to add that, and thank you, Prism, because yeah, you are right, because I remember that too, as well as having somebody or your friend at the restaurant in the corner there to see, who's there. Very, because right now we got to watch out for ourselves.
yes.
We are in we're us as Black women, we're just like in a place where it's just it's scary. And we have to, you know, be extra, on a lot, because it's just, we're in a really not safe place sometimes, but yeah, just make sure you pick your place. And like I always said, I said, if they're going to ask you out, you pick the place. And they say, okay, well, pick. Yep, I am going to pick the place. So because if I'm meeting you, it's going to be, on my turn. Well, not per se, but you always pick the place where you're comfortable, where exits. You know where to go ahead and do. The person that if you go to that restaurant and they see you all the time at the bar and they know who you are, they would know what your favorite drink is and stuff. So just go to a place where you are comfortable and that because if it, like you said, if it doesn't work out or you're not comfortable, then you have an easy way out. You can meet your friends down the street, or they're going to be down at another restaurant just like 15 minutes away, and they know they're there. Boom, you have an out. So yeah, pick your place always. You come first always.
That's a great answer. We want to give a shout out to Jeannie Sabri says, "Hello, Sandy. I'm enjoying your podcast. It's such a pleasure to see you." The beautiful Indiana mom says, "Hello, friends. I just finished dinner. I'll be watching while I clean up." Tiffany Cotter says, "Hello, Sandy." Um, And we have Lise says, "Hi, Sandy. I'm watching from Southern Cali. I met my wonderful white fiance online a little over a year ago. You have to
Good.
be very selective and safe when meeting people online." We definitely agree with that. Um,
Yes.
let's see what else we have here. Species Unknown says flirt with your eyes. Definitely give a lot of good eye contact to somebody
Mhm.
who's giving you the same. She said, I will flirt with a minute. White men love that with white men love that white men when you flirt and pay them a compliment. Hey, blue eyes, sigh, you know. DJ T says, don't underestimate the power of a smile and happy eyes. Thank you, L, for that wonderful comment that these are good questions. Um, Sunshine Doll said, I'm scared for my daughter on these online apps.
Yeah.
There is a lot of things. Casey said she went on 2 dates this weekend. Shout out for that.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, Miss Brio says, I haven't flirted in so long, I've forgotten how. Any tips? Or maybe I missed that part. She just came in.
Yeah. It could. I know, yeah. Yeah, we're old school. We're back in the day. Things have changed.
Do you have any tips on how to flirt nowadays, or would you like me to jump in as someone a little younger? Or
Yeah, you go ahead and jump in as somebody little younger because I'm 94,
oh
90,
yeah,
80,
right.
94. Yeah.
Um, so I would think that, if you see somebody that you're interested in, definitely a lot of eye contact. Um, you know, um, Let me say this. I know everyone says do not chase a man, but there is definitely nothing wrong that if you find that someone is staring at you, um, and a song comes on that you really like, say, hey, you want to dance? Somebody
Mhm.
might enjoy that. If you like cowboys, please go find some line dancing groups because they are line dancing groups, and a lot of Black women are in those line dancing groups, honey. Let me
Yes,
tell you.
yes.
Um,
Yeah,
and
that's
they
good.
are enjoying teaching you how to do that two-step, baby. Let me
That's
tell
right.
you. And they're enjoying also some of the music that you and listen to. They're having fun in those clubs.
Yes.
um uh Shout out to the one race for the human race. Most men on dating apps are just looking for hookup or money. I've tried that. There are some of those guys out there. Iris says, hi, Miss Sandy, holding it down. I love it.
Thank you.
um Sunshine Doll says that I hope my daughter and sons meet their future husbands in a school setting the way that I did. What
Yeah.
do you think about that, Miss Sandy? That finding that person that you go to college with or high school, actually.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and I think that's good because then you know that person because they come over. When you go to high school or you go to high school events, you see that person. You see that person all the time, and so and that's a good eye because that just kind of gets you aware of who they're looking at, who they're dating, and especially with their if their parents come to that event, that'd be a nice thing to know who their parents are and go up there and introduce yourself. And if you haven't met them or anything else like that, that's a good time to go ahead and do that. I always made it a thing to meet, you know, um, uh, my kids, if they were dating or they were talking or whatever. I said, I said to myself, like, if it's over a month, then I'm like, okay, it's a little bit serious. So I need names. I need to know where you're at. And my daughter will tell you, I text her. If I haven't heard from, she'll text me, Mom, I made it. I'm like, okay, if I haven't heard from her in a couple hours or anything else like that, I'm like, are you okay? You doing okay? I'm calling my other daughter. Can you track her? And my daughter's like, oh God, where's she at? Okay, she can track. See, that's my type of mom. So I always try to put myself out there, especially with school. And with school, I think it's good because then you have an idea. Then you can see that person. Your little us as parents a little bit comfortable, so we know we have an idea what's going on, but not a lot, but we have an idea.
Right, exactly. And like sharing your location with your parents on an iPhone when you're going out with a date with somebody is absolutely important. There are definitely codes on your iPhone that if you're in trouble, that you can push those buttons and law
That's
enforcement
right.
will be involved.
That's
So
right.
Casey said I should probably get a Google number or something. I agree with that.
That's right.
Sunshine Doll says some people meet at people's houses, which is definitely not smart. Definitely meet in a public if that's what you want. Black Women Wake and Behold said, yes, unfortunately, it is a very scary world for Black women out here. CSR says really insightful. If not interested, discontinue the communication. Neutralizer Janine, hello, welcome to the house. What do you think of Christian dating sites, Miss Sandy? And do you really think that it's Christian, quote unquote?
Well, I think any type of dating site you just need to be aware of, because we got creepy crawlies everywhere.
Yes.
I hate to say that because I'm a Christian, but still. Um, so you just need to be aware. I don't care what website. I don't care if it's, you know, meet at church. Meet at church every Sunday. Do that. And, you just need to be aware of any type of app that you go through, regardless of what name it's under. Be aware and just be careful.
Thank you so much for that. Jennifer Smith says, Sandy, you're doing great advice, excellent safety tips. A. Loren says Christian Mingle has a lot of people looking for a hookup, but others might have a different experience. Miss Sandy, how do you know? How do you end something like you meet somebody and you meet them on that first time and you're just really not interested in them? You don't have anything in common. What's the best way to say, that you're not interested in them without breaking someone's heart, or because there are a lot of people looking for love and they're just not interested in that particular person? How do you say that you're just not interested? You don't want to leave people high and dry, but
Right.
how would you deal with that today?
Well, and that's a good question too, as well, because you don't want to do that. Um, I would say just have something in mind what to say if that occurs, if it doesn't work, or you just not feeling it, you know, because some people be very blunt and say, I'm sorry, this is not going to work out, and just pretty much cut it and be done with it, because they figure that if I cut it hot and dry, that's it. I don't have to worry about that person. But you know what? If that's the case, and you don't want to have anything to, you just don't want to leave it at that, then just pretty much just say, after the date and everything. If you don't, God, that's kind of hard to say, because you don't want to hurt purpose feelings, because like I said, you probably, this person probably be into you, and then he's not, or vice versa. Then you're just trying to figure out not to hurt their feelings, because I know how that is, and your feelings get hurt if that doesn't work out. But pretty much along the conversations that you just have, I would just kind of put it there in between, or through conversations, or throughout the date, just to kind of let them know you're kind of not interested, or this is not going to work out. And if pretty much, then they can go ahead and you know get that feel that, okay, well, this is not going to work out. So, well, thank you. Had a nice date. You take care of yourself, and pretty much go from there.
Yeah, the beautiful Lisa Lee said true. She had met a lot of liars and a lot of lessons. That statement that you kind of kiss a lot of frogs before you find your prince.
Hmm.
And my thought is, don't kiss them at all. Just give them a handshake and say goodbye and move on.
Right, right.
Uh,
Yeah, move on. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
KP Murgots had a very interesting statement, and I want to know what you think about this. She said, ask God for a husband, not dating site. He's not on there. So, in the church, a lot of women have been praying for God for a husband a lot of years, and a lot of those women have remained single even into their 60s and probably into their grave. So, the reality is, when you ask God for a husband, Miss Sandy, is he really providing the husband, or do you have to kind of put yourself in a place where you can be seen by those type of men that have that godly, traditional, respectful type of value system, of wanting to be husbands and fathers, those providers and protectors, like the Bible says? What do you think about that?
Right. Yeah, and you're right. When you go ahead and you do pray for that, yeah, put yourself in that place where that you feel comfortable with, because we always been told that, you do, you pray for a husband, you said your little prayer, and then the people that you're around with, or place that you're around with Christians, your church, and and that's your place because that's your comfort. Um, but and see, and I and it's funny because I did that. I also prayed, but when I prayed for my husband, I didn't meet Brent, you know, at uh at the church because, like I said, we were friends. We knew friends that knew of friends, but we never hardly saw each other. So that he's a Christian, but and that's and then all of a sudden when we talked, we were like, oh wow, we know what people. Oh wow, we go to church. I mean, it was just it just came together. So in that sense, yeah, in the church, but then like I met my husband. He went to church. We were on the same level, but God brings people to you in different ways of different things. So yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for that wonderful answer. Lisa Lee says, go to the places with live music and karaoke. If you're a sports fan, put on your jersey and go watch the game and grab a drink. Be cute and smile, but do not drink too much. CC says, thumbs up the video. Jennifer Smith says, Sandy, we are 70s babies. We are not too old. We are mature. Definitely, they are not old. They are mature. Um, another person says that they went country line dancing, and of course that was something really fun, and those guys were all over her. So we love that that women are enjoying themselves. Give me 1 second. Um,
Yeah, my video is kind of slow too.
is it?
Let me see.
Yeah,
Yeah. But can you hear me clearly though?
I can hear you very clearly.
Okay,
If you
good.
can hear Miss Sandy, can you clearly, can you just drop a 1 in the chat, please? Because it looks like the video is trying to catch up at the same time.
Right.
So the next thing, like there's some comments. Neutralizer Janine said, "God doesn't send anyone master unless it's for a special purpose, like Isaac and Rebecca that had a purpose." KP Murgoat said, "You have to pray without ceasing, hold steady in your faith that God will provide, not eHarmony or Bumble." Um,
Right.
uh, so we have some pushback on different things of that. Miss Bree Zero said, "Did you pray for Brent, Miss Sandy? Sometimes I want to pray for a husband, but God might give him, um, but God might give him to me. And what if I'm not ready?"
Well, I think sometimes, yeah, I did pray for somebody because I prayed and I said, you know what, I'm ready. I've done the things I need to do. I'm good. I just want to find somebody that's gonna be with me for me and love me for me. Um, and so that's that and that's how Brit was sent to me. At that time, I was like, "Oh, you sent me this person." I'm like, "No, you know what? I'm not ready. No, this is going on too fast. No, I can't do." So me, I was jeopardizing that because I was like, no, it's just too good to be true. No, no, that's not gonna. Something's wrong here. I kept finding fault in it because for me, all the relationships that I have been through, I didn't look at, wow, this man likes me for me. This man really wants to date me. He wants to be with me. It wasn't that I had to give everything, in order to this relationship, or I ran the relationship, or I worked in this relationship. No, he wanted me for me. Um, and I was trying to sabotage it after I just asked. So when I did that, and I told, and it's funny because like when we're going back to cutting things off, I said he called me and he was staying with his mom one weekend, and I said, you know what? I said I can't. You know what? I said, I found some fault, and I said, you know what? We can't be together. This is not working. He was like, why? And I said, this is not working out. So take care of yourself, be good. And he's like, no, you have to tell me. And so no, because I was sabotaging it because I was like, this is too good. No, no. I hung up, and I kid you not, 30 minutes later, he was knocking at my door. He says, "Give me a reason why." And Prism, at that time, I was like, "Wow, okay, this you're yeah." And I was like, because I was saying I'm not. I was saying I was ready, and I did it, and then now I'm saying I'm not. And I got this man at my front door and saying, "You need to give me a reason why." Couldn't do it because I was sabotaging, because I felt I wasn't ready, because I was scared, nervous, and everything else. And then at that moment in time, I just had to say, "You know what, Sandra, you're just doing this for stupid reason. It's okay. This is what I bought you. This is the man you asked for. Here you go." And then so yeah, and so after that, I was like, wow. So um, I don't know if that was like a test or whatnot, but we, as some of us as women, when we have somebody in our faces that we're like, okay, no, we can't. No, this is too good to be true. No, it's gonna be a mess. You're gonna do this a month later. I know how men are. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. I already been enough of them. I can read it. No, don't do that. Don't sabotage yourself. Give it a chance. If you got somebody that's sitting there in front of you all this time and it's coming to you like that, give it a chance. Don't do that, because you're sabotaging something that could be that man that you want. You're letting him walk away from, and then the man that you're gonna get is not gonna treat you. It's not gonna treat you right. I'm telling you, it's not, because that man that you came forward with you, that's fight for you all this time, and you just went ahead and let him go and walk out the door, and then you're gonna probably wait for somebody. Don't do it. Let yourself get to know this person. Go ahead, talk, communicate, let them know. Let them earn what you want. Let them talk to you. See what that person's going to do for you. Don't do that. No.
I have a question. Do you really think that is a realistic place to be prepared to be a wife? Because
Mm-mm.
honestly, who is really born to be a wife and who can really prepare you to be a wife? Your mother's needs, your father's needs is going to be completely different than your own husband's.
That's right.
There's this working type of knowledge that people say that women need to be prepared to be a wife, when the reality is that my mother told me there's no way I can prepare you to serve a man that's not here. um, she said there are, of course, common courtesy, respect, and honor are those
Yeah.
things that would go ahead of learning how to be a mate to someone. However, like, of course, learning how to cook, but he might not like the things that your daddy likes. So you'll have to learn how to cook those things that he likes. Maybe he works out. Maybe he doesn't eat fried foods. So, we want to think about those things as well, because I don't think there really is a realistic place for a woman to be prepared to be a wife. And I know that is a biblical term, but we need to also make sure that we understand that a lot of things in the Bible are descriptive, but they're not prescriptive. That means that their description of someone's life doesn't mean there's a prescription for you to follow the same things. So we want to make sure that we have that knowledge as well. Um, we have a lot of different comments. Miss Sandy, how much longer do you want to give us? Because you've been on about an hour and 22 minutes. So we want to know, like, how much longer, because we know that you definitely are a wife and a mom and a grandmom. So happy you says that, Miss Sandy, happy to see you on the live with us. Thank you. Um, so how much longer would you like to give us?
Yeah, I can go ahead and do another 30 minutes, and then yeah, I could do that.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and look for some other questions and read some things to Miss Sandy for her feedback. Um, El Musima says, I'm not interested in meeting men online anyway. I've deleted social media. I'm not on dating sites at all.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of people are talking about praying and fasting, giving God the desires of your heart. Um, Kofit, Kovi, Fifi, Maga says churches have a shortage of men. If you're only looking there, good luck. And that's the truth. Definitely. Let me think about this.
Well, because I know that there's, it's. I think right now, as far as and and I'm gonna say I'm old, but a little bit wise doing going the years because I've seen some things. Um, it's just that um, when you go out there and just go to different places, I think sometimes now that where everybody's traveling now and going out and getting out in new places, which is good because sometimes there was places that we didn't get a chance to go, or we didn't do a lot of traveling like we were now. um a lot of when I traveled with my parents, we were always in the car. I mean, we were traveling, but we were always either going to Las Vegas or something else, stuff like that, for family reunions and stuff like that. But now just getting out, going to different places, like you saying, try traveling out internationally, you know, uh, go to places that you never been, just try it out and just get yourself out there, because nobody's not going to find you if you don't get yourself out there. You have to put yourself out there where where you enjoy yourself and you have fun and you can do things and be you know rounded. And and it's a lot because there's just so much stuff out there. Just put yourself out there, and that way you can meet people, different places, or everything. And that just makes you a more well-rounded person, for you to meet people.
I agree. We want to say hello to the beautiful A. Ortega. She says, "Hey, Miss Sandy and Prism. Hello. Race, the one race for the human race. God will provide a husband if you pray for it in God's time." Um, let's see. Happy you said God determined that Brent and Sandy were going to be together, and yes, we are all blessed because of it. Um, KP Murga said, "As Sunshine Doll, that's wonderful. God bless you and your God ordained husband. You entrusted God to provide you with. We also celebrate with you." Um, let's see. Um, Abba Joy's in the house. Hello, everybody, and happy Sunday. Hello. Um,
Happy Sunday.
Neoletti PLM says, "Miss Sandy, can I email you my question?"
Sure. Let me hold on
You
one moment.
if you can email Miss Sandy through Mr.
Yeah.
Roadrunner's
Yeah.
email address, and I
Right.
believe that is that on the website.
Yeah, I believe it is on the website.
Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can. If any of the mods already know Mr. Roadrunner's email address, could you please drop that in, or I can go ahead and look that up. And actually, I already have it, and I'll cut and paste that, and you can email Miss Sandy um, at that email address with your personal and private questions.
Yes.
There's
Most
absolutely
definitely.
nothing wrong with that.
No.
Give me 1 second. Oh, he's already beat us to it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I'm
Who's
a
in the
little
background?
further. I'm a little further up top, Miss Sandy, because I'm reading some of the questions.
No
Uh,
problem. Thank
LVNCR
you.
said, "Miss Sandy, when are you and Mr. Brett coming back to Texas? We can meet another place where traffic won't be so bad this time."
Yeah, we're thinking about that. Well, actually, we're trying to figure out, because I have a family reunion coming up in Texas. So we're trying to get that together and make that happen. So um, once I hear from my family, then we probably going to be heading down there for the family reunion. So hopefully we can get together, or send a message out to you so we can meet up somewhere and and have lunch or something. Always appears at LV. Nice to hear from you. Nice to see you on the chat.
Love it. I love it that when people who have been married for almost 30 years are getting together to be mentors and spiritual parents to people who really just need that embrace and that encouragement and that support and counsel from such a beautiful couple, such as Mr. Brent and Miss Sandy. I am blessed to have met them, and I'm thankful that they are in my life. Thank you, Species Unknown. She says, "This has been a great discussion. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great evening." We want to give a shout out to Mr. Roadrunner for running the chat. um, Louis, A. Lauren says Proverbs 31 is a daily aspiration, not a checklist. God desires a relationship with you. He wants to mold you, and that lady's list is too long to do every day. What do you think about that, Miss Sandy?
Well, if you can, it's oh, you said that because a list.
Yeah, that's actually it's an acrostic poem, but a lot of people have taken that on as like that is what the proverbial wife needs to be about, and honestly, that's a lot. Um, in a day where things are so
Yes,
modernized that
yes.
that it's almost impossible to live that way. So,
Right. One day at a time.
right.
One day at a time. Each other, you work through it. You and then that list will be completed or not, or certain in in ways, but it will. It's a day by day. It's a learning. Everything is going to be a learning experience when you're a husband and wife. I mean, you're still learning, even though you know each other, but you're still learning about, hey, you leave your socks at the end of the bed. No, you leave that where you don't pick. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're still learning. So it's a it's a it's a blessing. It's a list. You can check it off, but it's going to be a long list for many years. But it's a day by day process.
Thank you so much for that answer, Miss Sandy. I have a question. How did you and Mr. Brent bring two cultures together?
Ooh, I think with us, um, with him, his family knew how he was already. Um, so they knew that they were waiting for that. Um, so they knew. As far as my family, they had like no idea. But when like I said, when I bought him home, they were accepting. Now, my brother always, dated out his race. So when he'd bring his girlfriend over and whatnot, or and the wife and stuff, my brother always did. So, but I think they did for me. I think they thought, oh, okay, but when I bought Rent Home, it was, everybody was like, once they got to talk to him, ask him questions, they liked him, and we all came together. There was times when I went over to when he was doing his basic training. I would stop over to his parents' house and check on them and see how they were doing. Um, kind of put myself out there, met them, talked to them. They were welcoming, and so that's what I did on my end. Um, and they appreciated that, and that made them more comfortable. So when we got our families together, um, it was nice. Everybody got along. Everybody sat there, and we had a nice dinner and we had a barbecue, and everybody just got along, talked, and some of them shared the same interests. So it worked out really nicely. I was blessed to have that, because I know a lot of people don't. um I heard stories, but with us coming together, it worked out. We were, some of us was on the same page, some of us was not, but still we were together and we were meeting each other and we got along.
Thank you so much for that. Elle says, I love this girls talk. I do as well. Kofi Fee Magnus says, oh, Mr. Brett. Hello, Brett. We love your wife. We do. I do as well. Coraline's Dream said, yes, please come to Texas. Jess L, hello. She said, yes, I'm in Texas as well. We would love to have you. Um, Neutralizer Janine says most people would say who say women should train to be wives also believe in teen brides. So avoid those cult like people who pushes that narrative. I would agree with that as well. Um, Sunshine Doll says family reunion. That's beautiful. Hearing people speak of family uniting is great, and that is so important for the health of a marriage and a family connection.
Hmm.
Abba Joy says amen. Um, One race for the human race said Miss Sandy and Prism have real talk. I'm enjoying this live. Um, let's think. Gina said, how long were you and Mr. Brent together before he proposed?
We were together, golly, how long we were together? We were together 4 months before he proposed.
Wow.
And so when he proposed, it was, we were together 4 months. And yep. And then he proposed then. And then he was getting ready to go into basic training. He had signed up for this, signed up. And so he was getting ready to go to basic training. And he went to basic training. Then after he finished, and then he came back like 2 months later, and we got married in our 6th month.
Wow. That is great. So, was it a big wedding or did you just do it very simply?
We just had a small wedding with family and friends. Um, so we friends from work, and it was really nice because I had my friends from work. They made the food, did the flowers. Um, they pretty much decorated because it was we were at one of my friend. She lived in a townhouse, so they had a big, huge community center, and so she asked to have it there. So we had it there. So we had my pastor come and did the eulogy with us. So he did that, and then they decorated. And then my friends from work, they took care of everything. I just took care of getting my dress ready, getting my hair, and then they all just piled in and did it. I mean, I was really blessed because when they said, "Oh, we'll do the food, we'll do the decorations," and my friend, she's a florist, she did the flowers. Yeah, everything was done for us. Yeah,
That sounds really beautiful.
yeah.
Cynthia Shields said, "This is such a beautiful live, so peaceful and nurturing. So glad to be here. I am as well. After taking my gloves off all day in this space, um,
Yeah,
it is tough to
yeah,
be a woman and a lady in this space."
yes,
Um,
yeah.
Mr. Roadrunner wanted to give out shouts out to the ladies. Hello, me and Sandy love you. Texas in the house. Swirl to investment. Um, Gino said he was not about to let you change your mind again. Uh,
No.
Black woman wake up and whole said simple weddings seem to last longer. Do you think that's a really good perspective?
I don't know. I mean, it's and yeah, I'm a sucker looking at people's weddings because I used to always when I look at everybody get their weddings all set up and stuff and everything, I'm like, wow, I was like, wow, I wish you had a wedding like that. But then I'm just like, well, the wedding I had, I was surrounded by family and friends that loved us, and they were there and they were genuine, because sometimes you have people that come to weddings that are just not, you know, um, but I don't know. I don't know about that. I really never kind of looked at that at that perspective. And I think probably what that probably means is because of stress, because you put so much into work that you want this nice wedding. Um, and I think with the stress and everything else that comes along with it, maybe that would be. But I'm not for sure on that. I just know that when we had ours, it was great, and we family and friends. It was nice. It was everybody had a good time, and it was good. So I don't know. That's kind of hard to say, you know, because I know
Thank
some
you.
people that have big weddings still are married to this day or leave or longer.
That's true. Sunshine Doll says, quick, that was great. Kofifi Magnus says, wow, I'm going to start looking at dudes funny on the month mark now. Iris says, Brett knows how to lock it down. Smart man. Gina was like, he was not about to let you change your mind. Um, uh, Jeannie Sabri says, Brent knew what he wanted. KP Murgo said, Brent played no games. Indiana Mom says, awesome friends and family helping for that wedding. That is those tasks. That is a blessing.
I'm
Lisa also
surprised she's
said, what a blessing.
and I'm surprised Indiana mom ain't out here because this was her idea. She threw it out here. So I'm like, where
Yes.
you
I think she said
at?
she just got finished with dinner. She's probably
I
cleaning up.
know. I'm messing with her. Yeah.
So Elle said, that's amazing. That's beautiful, just Elle. Of course, everybody's talking about, that Mr. Britt just knew what he wanted, and we can just see that you are a very well loved woman who is, as they say, that her children and her husband will rise up and call her blessed. And we can just definitely say that for a fact, Miss Sandy, that you are definitely a blessing to not only your family, your husband, but you're definitely a blessing to us as well. Um, so I have Vetta Manning. Hello. She said, "Hello, Miss Sandy. I've been chilling and been away from the channel for a minute. It's good to see you and appreciate you and your husband always."
Thank
Miss
you.
Sandy, did you expect that you and Mr. Brent would have the welcoming and the love and the respect that you do of so many women in this space coming in as a couple?
Um, it's yeah. I didn't expect this at all. A lot. Because I appreciate you guys on this channel with everything that's been going through. I appreciate you guys being here. Um, and I wasn't expecting a lot when my husband first did this channel. When my husband started this channel, he was like he wanted to start YouTube, and he goes, what should I talk about? And I said, well, I don't know. And he's like, well, I'm going to go into politics. I'm like, well, okay, that's like kind of broad subject, but okay, be careful. And he's like, no, I want to talk about interracial. And I was like, and I'm like, well, I'm like, you're gonna have some haters, so have some tough skin. You're gonna have people come after you. Have some tough skin. He's like, I'm not worried about it. I was more, I think I was more worried for him because I'm like, you're the only white dude in here. I mean, you be ready. He goes, I'm ready for it. And so he did it. I kept, and I kept, on and stuff. And then once he got the rhythm of it, and he goes, I love this. He goes, I love doing this. He goes, I love being around these, beautiful ladies. God, they're smart, they're intelligent. Wow, and that just got him so excited to meet, you guys and to know you. And I was like, oh, good. So I felt better because you guys are around him and you're surrounding him and you're letting him have, give him this platform to hear what he has to say. So I appreciate you doing that because, with interracial and then him speaking beyond a black women, he's not gonna get no wrong reception from that. But when he got to the space, I was more worried and I was more up guard. I had my guard up again, but um, I wasn't expecting this. And I tell you what, I appreciate it. You guys have been fantastic. You guys are beautiful women, intelligent women, and I appreciate you so much for having my husband's back. Um, you know, I appreciate that. I love I just love you guys. Thank you so much for doing that and being there for him.
We appreciate you definitely, and we definitely appreciate both you and Mr. Roadrunner for just giving women a space to be able to relax, to step into their normal femininity, and
Yes.
that, and giving a peaceful place where we can just be able to connect with one another, and like-minded women connect with one another. Neutralizer Janine says, "Will you have your vows will you have your vows renewed with a larger ceremony?" Go ahead and take your
Um
turn. Take your turn.
um I I don't think so. I think it's probably just going to be a still a small ceremony um at that time. I mean that's just me on that end to do that. Uh because it's now that my kids are grown, and then I'm excited because then I can have my grandchildren in it, so that I'm excited with that um to be there. And so I think it will just be with just families and close friends, and people who that we want to go ahead and invite to come, that that want to come. I just think because I just like surrounding my people that just want to have a good time, that we are here for each other. We love each other no matter what, and we can just come together and just have a good time. That's where I'm at.
Yes, that's going to be beautiful to see those grandbabies in there. It's
Yeah.
Miss Sandy, LBNCR, SCR, CSR says, Sandy, you are truly a blessing to me.
Oh,
Sunshine Doll
thank
said, you
you.
two were meant to be, Miss Sandy. And Watson says, anytime I see a positive Black female role model, I support it.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
Elle says, I appreciate you, Miss Sandy. Thank you for talking to us and sharing your experience. You are loved. Beverly Johnson says, so true, L. And Watson says, I've been following Mr. Roadrunner from the beginning. Sunshine Doll said, you and your husband give off light and love, which they do. And Mother Q Jura says, we love you, Sandy. Cece said, we love you, Sandy. We definitely love you, Sandy. That link is in the chat, Indiana Mom. Uh, Gina says, God bless us all. SLDJ is giving out the hearts. Um, uh, Black woman, wake up and behold, Mr. Brent is there for us, and we thank you both. Abba's Joy say, yes, we love y'all both. Um, and let's see. I absolutely love this live, and your voice is so calm and soothing. Love you, Sandy.
Oh, thank
Iris
you.
says, yes, love you, Brent and Sandy. You are so appreciative of your ministry. Do you really think of this type of thing as a ministry? Have you guys taken that mantle under consideration that this is a ministry to not only other couples, but also single women and who need that type of mother and father connection?
Yes, yeah, most definitely. Right, I do. Hold on one second. Let me. Oops, I'm trying. Oh, hold on. I lost you there for a moment. There we go. Trying to bring up Indiana Mom. Hello,
Hey,
Indiana Mom.
Hi.
hey, beautiful.
Hello. How are you?
Wonderful. So nice to have you on the panel with us.
Right on.
So
Um,
yes, I do. On that, for that question, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Prism. Can you read that for me one more time? I'm so sorry.
I was saying, did you and Mr. Brent come in thinking that this would be a ministry not only to other interracial couples, but as well as single women who just need that mother and that father figure?
Oh yes, most definitely. To all that can get, the to all that leads out to, single mothers too as well, so they can, get the word and know that, there's always options out there. You're not alone. That applies to single mothers too as well. You're always going to meet, you might meet that special person. So, we just want to go ahead and give you that, give you some of that guidance and positivity, out there for two. So, oh yeah, most definitely single moms. Yes.
Okay, I just want to read a few more things. This ladies' night was live. Live was beautiful, feminine, and spirit filled with love, hope, truth, and faith for Black women. Yes, indeed, divine feminine energy. Well said. She's so humble. Doll says, I'm in tears. You and Brett deserve it. I pray. I see the day my grandchildren are born, and we wish that for you as well. Indiana Mom, do you have anything that you want to contribute? Because I'm looking forward to hearing from you.
Um, well, a lot of people have heard me just talk and talk and talk, but if they're because I'm good at it, but I'm just here, for support and to answer any kind of questions that anyone might have, especially younger women, because I'm in my early 50s, so I've seen a lot.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah.
So let's see if we have everyone is saying thank you. You're a beautiful woman,
No,
um, and a lot of agreements with that. Let's see if we have anything else.
well, I appreciate the comments and, and everything that that you guys here tonight. And, and I especially thank you guys for taking the time to come in, talk to me, and go over some questions. Because I kid you not, I was a little bit nervous because I don't, I'm not like my husband that do this all the do this all the time. So I was a little nervous, but I appreciate Prism, guiding me here and get me through this, the questions and everything. So I appreciate that on her end too as well,
Yeah,
and coming out
Prism's
here.
awesome.
Thank
She
you so
is. She really is. Yeah, she really is. Like I said, with us is, like I said, with everything that's going on, I just want to, and I've been wanting to come hit. Yeah, I've been wanting to come up for a while now, and I just didn't know when because everything that I've seen and everything that's going on, you got so much that you want to say, but just don't know how to go ahead and get it out on some things. But I just want this to be for with us as Black women. I just want us to have a nice conversation, just have a, like a Miss A. Ortega, good, insightful, just something for us to sit here and talk and, and do whatever, because at the end of the day, we're always, something's always going on that we have to fight for or say something, or always, we always got our grind on. And so I just want to have a time to sit there and just talk to you ladies and just have a nice conversation, just to talk.
I have a question for both of you ladies, and I'll let you decide which one would like to go first. Um, 50 is not really that old, okay? And there's a lot of wisdom and understanding because you've raised children who are in their 30s now, and you've seen a whole lot technology and things of that sort.
Hmm.
If you were a 30-some-year-old woman today, um, what would you tell your 30-some-year-old self in 2023 today in this atmosphere about dating and relationships and um, even marriage?
Oh, wow. If I was 30 something now, I would be
Mm.
terrified of dating. I, oh, I would, oh gosh. I would probably just repeat what my mother said, but to a much more um, higher degree, with more urgency, to be careful,
Yes.
to don't just blindly trust somebody because of the school they go to or the neighborhood they live in or the kind of car they drive, or don't blindly believe anyone until you've had a lot of time to get to know them. um, but even when I was dating, um, in my 20s and 30s, my mother made sure we knew, first date, you don't have him pick you up, you meet him. I mean, that's what we were practicing that in the
Mhm.
90s. So I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think a lot has changed. It's just it's way more urgent now than it was
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. I think us as moms right now, if and yeah, I agree with Indiana mom. Like we're just more um cautious. Um Now we know that, you can, like I said, the phones or, place, we kind of know how to do things now. It's just be careful and surrounding big time and letting people
Mhm.
know where you're going. Um so that, that's the thing too. And so that's how I would, but you know, also get out there more, do different things, because sometimes we're so used to doing the same things all the time that we, because a lot of us at that time didn't go to the gym a lot, like go work out, do yoga, and, and experience other things outside the box as far as going out to a club or, going to house parties and stuff, or, kind of staying around that what you know is what you know. But if you go outside anything else, you don't know. So then that's the scary part. But
Mhm.
now we're to the point where, everybody's pushing out a little bit more, which is good. I mean, you should, because that just
Right.
gets you a lot of aware of things when you do go out and date. And so if somebody's doing, I mean, just get you a lot of awareness. So I would, So I agree with Indiana mom. I just be a little bit more escalated.
And
Yeah.
the only other thing I can think of that might be a help, that we did in our teens and 20s is we didn't really date one on one a whole lot until we were established and already steady with someone. Before that, the first two, three, four, five dates were usually with a group, and we would all go to like a drive-in movie, or we would all go roller skating, or we would all go to a
Mhm.
concert and
Yeah.
kind of pair off, and then meet back up at the end of the evening and then do something else. Or but
Right.
we weren't really always alone, so it was always
Yeah.
four girls and four guys, and we would always just be in a group. And
Yeah.
then after dating for a couple of months, then we might go out alone, out to dinner
Right.
and a movie or something like that.
Well, yeah, I haven't heard that word study in a long time.
I couldn't. I am like, oh,
That's
you can't
okay.
really call it committed,
I know,
you
right?
know.
When you said
And I'm
study, I was
like,
like, yeah,
and I'm like, okay, steady. That's the first
yeah,
one. And yeah, I'm
right.
totally showing my age.
I
I,
said passing notes. I said passing notes in classroom a while back. I said, yeah, we pass notes, and they would
oh
say,
yeah, oh yeah.
do you like what I'm wearing? Do you like my hat, or do you like Deshaun or whatever? You like put check mark for yes and check mark for no. So
Yes, yes. And the way we folded them were so complicated,
yeah, we
but I
were. I
still
can
know
do
how
that
to do
too.
it.
Yeah,
I
that's
could
true.
take a piece of notebook paper and fold it into a note with a little tuck and everything. And yeah, I could still do that.
Good. Well, I'm
Think
glad
that
you
some of
remember
the
that.
innocence is lost?
Something else that's totally useless that's still stuck in my head.
A question: do you think some of the innocence has been lost in this generation?
I don't think it's been lost. I think it was taken.
Mm, yeah, yeah.
Would you say
Yes.
that those innocence have been lost by the amount of forwardness of the music, the sexuality, the, the things that are on TV? Um, what would you say? Would you say it's a combination of all those things, or
I
what
think
would
so. Um, Today, the music is just
Yeah.
horrible.
Well,
I
yeah.
I stopped listening to like rap, hip hop stuff in the 80s. Or I mean, I never really listened to it. I mean, in my 20s, I heard a lot of it because we were in the bar. But
Right.
my personal collection was always rock and a little bit of country and pop, you know. But the music is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know about the movies. I don't really pay attention to the newer movies. I think part of it is unfortunately social media. Um, the music. I I kind of feel like the the girls were able to see beyond that, but it's almost like the guys have gotten stuck with what the music is saying or what they see, um, with certain social media platforms, and they really believe that women are supposed to bow down just because it's a man. It's weird because the guys did not behave like that when we were younger.
Mm-mm.
It's so weird. I don't
Yeah.
understand why.
yeah,
But
it's
if
definitely.
y'all could have guys like we had, you would be perfectly happy.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that's probably why a lot of younger women who are educated, who received their degrees, a lot of them are traveling overseas to become teachers in other countries, to
Hmm.
teach English to like Korea and China and different places. Um, we want to say hello to Disappointed Dinosaur, who says, "Sorry I'm late, chat. Hope I haven't missed much. Love this positivity live. Sending much love to Sandy and Brent. Looking forward to the next week, Sandy." Um, Another person said, "This is
you.
therapy for me." Thanks again. I've learned you're never too old to learn. Um, thank you so much for all the compliments. That this is insightful. Some people are dropping their ages, which I'm not going to read because honestly, that's really not anybody's business.
A lot of
So
wisdom here. A lot of wisdom. We'll take it. We'll take it.
Wow.
yes. So it doesn't matter the age. We're definitely never too old to learn.
Mhm.
We all have something to contribute to someone. There's somebody for everyone. I just
Mhm.
think we need to open up those options. I know, Miss Sandy, you had told us that there would be another 30 minutes. We're at that 30-minute mark.
Okay.
Is there anything else? Uh, Oh, Kofi Magla says, black and dating in Asia is rough. Look at what the lifestyle is like. Don't run a career for husband. They're colorist AF. So, I have spent some time in Korea, and that has not been my experience. I'm
Mm,
actually having a lot of success dealing with a lot of the men in Korea, and I've
mm.
created a lot of great connections and friendships with people there that I do business with. Um, and and a lot of funny thing is a lot of people over there said the same thing about us over here. So it's the craziest thing in the world. Like, don't come to America. Those people are crazy over there, you know. It's,
Shocking.
it's all sex,
Yeah.
sex. So, you know, they think a lot of
Yeah.
stuff like is crazy about us as well. So I just think
Oh,
like, you know,
that's funny.
you have to kind of uh
Get
run for
out.
yourself.
That's
Yeah, you
there
have
you
to
go.
learn for
There
yourself.
you
I've
go.
lived in Italy as well, and like I enjoyed living in Sigonella, and it was one of the beautiful, most
There
beautiful
you go.
places in the world. I love the people there.
Mm,
I didn't go looking for a husband. What I did was I embraced that culture. I lived there for
Yes.
3 years abroad, and
Hmm.
I really did enjoy the food, living on the economy, meeting the
Hmm.
people. I was invested in that community. A lot of people are going for other reasons, but I think that we need to be able to open the door for anything, that
That's
any
right.
possibility. So you just don't know because if you go on TikTok, you're going to see a lot. I've never seen so many black women booed up with Korean men in my life when I went over there.
Hmm.
Those men
That's
were
funny.
bowing, coming up to me on the street, asking me questions, buying me coffee. And, you know, they have the 3 date rule in Korea. So if they take you out for coffee and get to know you, if you don't send a message to them right away to let them know that you had a great time, they're going to think you're not interested. They believe like that 3rd date, you are together, they're carrying your purse around. So
wow.
Wow.
those guys do not play around. I have not encountered any type of racism from the people in Korea. So I really think it's just like you need to kind of have that experience for yourself. Yeah,
Yes.
Korean men, I have absolutely been having a ball with them. Matter of fact, I'm going to be traveling out to KCON in the middle of August, and then I'll be going back to Korea because I had so much fun over there at the middle part of September. So we definitely want to think about that as well.
Yes.
Pro white leadership. Can someone please drop the link? Because I know we said that we were going to end it. Because I know Miss Sandy has been talking for
Yeah.
about 2 hours.
Oh, how'd
Do
I
you have
drop one?
time for Pro to kind of say something?
Sure.
Okay, Mr. Brent, can you drop the link for Pro white leadership, please? Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, he's my mod. He's like, I'll be there helping you. I'm like, okay, because I'm new. I know computers, but I'm like, okay, hold on one moment, because I might hang up on somebody and be like, oh, okay. But yeah, you're right. Definitely go out there. I mean, the world's your oyster now. I mean, I have a lot of some of my friends that are just like, their kids are leaving and going to New York or going to jobs. I had a friend that got a job offer. She does human resources, and she got a job offer in Japan, for working at a hospital. And she was so excited that she was just like, wow, I never thought they would want me to come up, to do an interview. And so she did, and she was just like, she was excited. So hi, Pro.
What's going on? Hey, Sandy. I'm sorry that I'm coming so
Hello.
late, but it's so nice to have you. You should definitely do this more often. You're so wonderful.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. We'll see how everything. Everybody's been so nice and everything else. I've been nervous and but Prism, she's been helping me hold it down. So I appreciate that. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I had to get some sleep because I'm doing some venues at night now.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, so some party venues actually. It's good money. It's really
Hmm.
good money.
Oh well, yeah.
So if you guys
It's a
ever
paycheck. It's a paycheck. I
wherever,
mean, we got to work.
yeah, whatever city you're in, you can always open up a venue. I'm telling you, these young people will come buy liquor, and you can make good money.
Wow, that's good. That's good to keep in mind with the event. Yeah, we are discussing about events of people, how they meet, like different events or that goes on, that they can meet at or talk to people or meet different people at. So yeah, okay. Well,
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sorry.
mine's more a little wilder. It's
Hmm.
not a networking situation, so I'm not gonna talk about. Yeah, but I just woke up, so I'm getting ready for it right now because I'm waiting for it to. Party starts at dark, after dark,
Oh,
until
okay.
about 5, 6 in the morning. So
Wow,
yeah.
people stay up that late.
Yeah, and yeah, it's that's why I'm saying. I mean, I know it's terrible, probably, but it's good money. It's
Yeah,
just the business aspect. So
yeah,
I'm
I
just
got
gonna take advantage of it. So yeah,
to hear you.
but it's so nice to see all you ladies here. I wish I could have came on earlier, but I just had to get some sleep before I started doing what I needed to do because I got to get dressed and wear my boots and
Hmm.
my knee high boots and be a party host girl. So
There you go. Well, thanks for coming up, Pro. I appreciate it. I know you would. I know you're a busy lady, and yeah, we're gonna shut down anyway. With any if anybody has any other questions or anything, um, uh, with us. Thank you,
I'm
Prism. Oh,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry. I didn't introduce myself to prison and this other lady here. I'm so sorry.
Hey, pro white leadership. White
Yeah,
male
you
leadership.
are. Yeah, I'm so I didn't say anything to this other lady here. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm pro white male leadership. I got my own little controversial channel over there.
Oh, I'm very familiar.
I listen to
I'm very familiar. It's Indiana Mom.
Oh, you look so different, but you
Well,
look good.
I decided, oh, thank you. Well, last night I was sitting in the garage and I was bored and I saw the motorcycle and I was like, I held up my phone. I'm like, ooh, that's a, oh, yeah. So I uncovered it and I covered it back up so he doesn't have a freaking cow. But I uncovered it and I'm like, let me snap a picture of the CBR. Click. So, yeah, I decided to change my picture. So, but yeah, I just took that last night.
Nice. It's a nice picture.
It
Really
looks
nice
really
picture.
good. It
Thank
Yes.
looks
you.
really good.
I love
Yes,
the bike.
yes.
I'm just showing off the bike, honestly.
There you
Oh,
go.
Are you it looks like you're modeling the bike, really.
I am. After we move, I'm getting my own, probably not as big as that one, but the same brand. I'll probably get like a 600 because the one behind me in the picture is a 1000 and it's way too much engine for me. It's too big. So
Oh, wow.
and I would never be allowed to ride it by myself. He made that very clear. He's like, yeah, that bike's too much bike for you. So it's like, okay. So I'll just get a one that's basically the body is the same size. It's the size of the engine. So the bike's a 600 is a little bit lighter and a little bit closer to the ground, but not a whole lot. Um, and it's a lot lighter and not nearly as fast. Like 600, I could probably get up to like maybe I don't know. Wait, Honey, what's top speed for a 600?
I don't know. Everything is
Oh, we're gonna get a lecture.
is based on what's allowed.
No, don't go into all that.
Like
Just
this-
what's the top
this-
speed?
They sell it in the United States to go over 178 or 180 when I bought that. I don't know what the speed is now. They can all go
That's
very
right.
fast, but they don't let them because of the
Okay,
computers.
I
So I don't know what the top speed is. Google it.
hate it. Google it. I hate it when he does this.
This one was 180 miles an hour.
Okay, his 1000's top speed is supposed to be 1 to 80. What is the top speed supposed to be for a 600? Which is what I asked him in the first
It
place.
doesn't. They don't go by
Oh,
the engine sizes for what the speeds are. They go by our government controls what we can have.
Look, welcome to my life.
Welcome
Wait
to
a
married
minute.
life.
Wait a minute. Hold up for a second. Did he just say the government controls what we have?
As far as like motorcycle speeds and
Let me ask
car
you
speeds,
this.
the computer and stuff, the computers that stop you from hitting top speed, the governors inside the engines, those.
Okay. I rode a motorcycle a few times with my friends. That's it.
Mhm.
So that's
Oh, that's
it.
fine.
I know in some states it's a little higher.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure mostly about motorcycles. I just know about cars.
Yeah, I never should have gotten him started.
Well, I mean, he's
Answer
he-
you
he-
want.
wait a minute. He's the white man. He can change the speed limit.
All right, bro.
Speed limits only apply if there's police around.
Did you hear him?
You're the
Speed
white
limits
man. You
only
can change
apply
the
if police
speed
are
limit.
around.
So, this is your territory here. You can change the speed limit if you want to.
Well, he said the speed limits only apply if there's police around.
Yep, there you go. That's right.
Oh, he cracks me up on a daily basis.
That's funny.
I can't with this man.
You guys are too much. Well, I just wanted to say thank you for thank you guys. I appreciate y'all for coming up and let me talk to you and everything. I appreciate you guys so much. It's been-
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for joining us with the beautiful Miss Sandy, pro-white male leadership, and beautiful Indiana mom.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you for the beautiful contributions as well as your compliments. We hope
Yes.
Sandy will do this again.
Yes, Sandy, you got to do this more often. Well, let me hurry up and get out of here because I got to get ready. I got some 25-year-olds and 22-year-olds that about to get drunk, and I'm gonna have to tame down. So
Okay.
Oh, that doesn't sound fun at all.
Hey, well, bro, be careful. Be safe. Thank you for coming.
no,
up.
you know how I am. I like some excitement in my life. So
That's true. That's
but
true.
it's a venue. But sometimes things happen or whatever. But it's nothing ever serious.
Yeah.
But yes, let me go get myself prepared to maybe take down one of these angry, drunken 22-year-olds.
Gotcha.
We'll just live vicariously through you.
Yeah, there you go. Well,
All
take
right,
care.
guys. Thank you so
All right.
much. I love you, Sandy. I love all of you. Thank you again.
All right. Take
Have a
care,
good
honey.
one.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much, everyone. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you, guys. Love you. Thank you for everything. I
Love you, Miss
appreciate
Sandy.
y'all.
Talk to you later.
Okay, then.
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.